بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Welcome everybody in this course in intro for those students, general English, which is for those students who are specialized in other areas other than English. This course is concerned with the course of intro, interchange intro A. We are going to explain some points in this course. And I hope that everything will be okay, inshallah, with this course. So I'm so pleased to be with you, inshallah, in this course, and I'm happy to be with you to give you those key most important points in this course only. First of all, this course has about 8 units, and I'm going to explain some of those units and some of the most important points in these units. So unit number 1, which is concerned the first unit in this course, which is It's Nice to Meet You. That means the title of this unit is It's Nice to Meet You. And this title is concerned with the greeting someone who you are going to, that means to meet the first time. If you meet someone the first time, you say It's nice to meet you, usually. And it's concerned with greetings and what are those expressions to greet someone you meet the first time. Now in this unit we are going to explain and give you some expressions concerning greeting someone you meet the first time. Now look at this now, you have some expressions you can see now. These expressions, if you meet someone the first time, you can say sometimes hello, and you can say hi, nice to meet you. So some other expressions, for example, good morning, how are you? So that means these are some expressions to say hello to someone. So now these expressions can be used in this unit and some conversations. In this lecture, we are going to explain some conversations in which we can use these expressions. Now look at these expressions, which are, for example, we have hello, we have hi, nice to meet you, your name, for example, my name. That means your name and my name here are concerned with the pronouns, adjective pronouns, and those that means possessive adjective pronouns. And we are going to explain these points later. Now look at this conversation in this course. There are some points concerning grammatical points and grammar focus, and this grammar focus is applied in some conversations. Now we are going to give you this conversation and read the conversation and find out what are those most points which are focused in this conversation. This conversation is titled It's Nice to Meet You. It's nice to meet you. And now look, you have also the picture in this. Now you can see the picture next to this conversation, and it can give you some clarification for this conversation. The conversation here is between two people, which are Michael and Jennifer. Michael and Jennifer now, they meet each other and they greet each other. So now look, we have Michael, for example. Now Michael said, hello, my name is Michael Otta. My name is Michael Otta. So now hello here, when you meet someone, it can be sometimes the first time or after a long time, you can say hello, my name is Michael Otta. Now he says now, my name is Michael Otta. Jennifer says, hi, my name is Jennifer Miller. So now hello and hi, these are two words that can be used to greet someone you meet. It can be sometimes the first time or after a long time. That means you don't see someone for a long time. Michael said, it's nice to meet you, Jennifer. It's nice to meet you, Jennifer. So it's nice to meet you, سعيد بلقائك, Jennifer. So this is also expression used usually when you meet someone. It can be the first time or sometimes after a long time. You can say it's nice to meet you. So it's nice to meet you, Jennifer. Jennifer said, nice to meet you too. Nice to meet you too. So this is the reply for the that means the expression that Michael said, it's nice to meet you. So Jennifer now replied, nice to meet you too. Michael said, I'm sorry, what's your last name again? So she told him her name before, but he forgot her name now. He asked her now, I'm sorry. This is polite. That means a polite way to request someone and to ask someone something. So I'm sorry, what's your last name again? What's your last name again? Jennifer said, it's Miller. So for example, now we have first name and last name. First name, for example, now when I say my name is Hussein Al-Aidarus, for example, so first name is Hussein and Al-Aidarus is my last name. So in this conversation now, he used the expression it's nice to meet you, which is the title of this unit. So you can use this expression when you meet someone. in this unit also, in this lecture, we are going to give you some names which are popular names in the United States. There are some popular names that these names are given to both male and female. So now look, we have some names in this box. You can say we have Taylor, we have Casey, we have Jamie, Riley, Jesse, Peyton, Quinn, Hayden, Rory. So all these are names that are given to both males and females because they may express something for them and they are popular names in the US. Also, we can say you can give some names in our country that can be given also to both males and females. For example, now in Arabic country, for example, in Yemen, like Yemen, you can say, for example, you have the name is Noor, for example, the name Saud. So these names can be given to both males and females, and sometimes also we can say that some other names are popular in our country here, like for example Muhammad, but it is only given to males, but it is one of the most popular names because it expresses something very important for people here. Now in this point, grammar focus. In the grammar focus, that means we are going to explain some grammatical points in this lecture. The first now point, which is the use of those adjective pronouns, which are my, your, his, her, our, their. So all these are adjective pronouns. For example, look now at these questions. We have 3 questions. What's your name? What's his name? What's her name? So now look at those which are in bold. For example, your, his, her. So these are adjective pronouns, and they are called adjective pronouns because they are usually followed by a noun. We cannot only use these pronouns without a noun after them. So we can say, for example, when I say, for example, this is your pen, this is your pen, so it should be this is your pen. هذا قلمك. We cannot say, for example, only this is your. So this is incomplete sentence, and we have to give a noun after these adjective pronouns because they are adjective pronouns and they should be followed by a noun. So now we have these are only 3 nouns. We have 3 questions. What's your name? What's your name? ما اسمك? What's your name? What's your name? So now your name, that means for people you are addressing. So what's your name? Your book, your pen, your pencil. So this is for people you address. للمخاطب. What's your name? And now look, you have the answer is my name is Taylor. My name is Taylor. My name. So this is for the speaker himself. My name. This is my pen. This is my book. My shirt. So this is my is also adjective pronoun for the person who is speaking. That means something is for the person who is speaking. So the second question is here. What's his name? What's his name? So now look, this one in the picture, this boy is asking about, or a girl asking about the name of this person. What's his name? What's his name? His name, for example, when I say my father is a doctor, his name is Ali. My father is a doctor, his name is Ali. His name, ismo. So his name here is another adjective pronoun which is given for that means someone, that means male individual you are talking about. His name, for example, is Ali. So this is his pen, the قلمه. So his here is also an adjective pronoun like my and your. So now we have 3 adjective pronouns: my, your, and his. So number 3 we have what's her name? What's her name? Her name is for female. That means adjective pronoun for a female. Okay, so for example, now when I saw that means who is absent and who is away, we can say, for example, her name is Lisa. Her name is Lisa. So what's her name? مسموها. So her name here, this is also here as an adjective pronoun, which is for a female. We can say, for example, this is her pen. هذا قلمها. هذا قلمها. So her here is another adjective pronoun. So now we have my, your, his, her, and then we have some other adjective pronouns for plural, like for example our, for people who are talking. For example, our friends are polite. For our friends means أصدقاؤنا. So this is also another adjective pronoun, and also their friends أصدقاؤهم. That means for people who are away. So we can say their friends are polite. So there also is another adjective pronoun. So in the box here, at the bottom of the, now you can see now, what is is, that means, a full form of what's. So what's your name? What's your name? So these, that means, contractions are usually used in the conversations, that means in among those English people, and they usually use like these abbreviations, like these contractions. So now look, we have the grammar focus now in this point also. Now we have now some, that means, exercise, and when do we use these adjective pronouns, which are my, your, his, her. So now look, we have some sentences and some spaces, and in these spaces you are supposed to use these adjective pronouns my, your, his, and her. So now look at this conversation, and the first conversation here, which is complete the conversation, use my, your, his, her. So A, hello, what's space name? So now B said, hi, my name is Antonio. So now, because now he said, my name is Antonio, so now the question will be, what's your name? What's your name? So what's your name? My name is Antonio. So now the answer here gives you an indication, that means what can be used in the first space. So this one can be shown from the answer that you have in this conversation. So now the hi, he said, hi, my name is Antonio. What's your name? What's your name? So the answer will be my name, because now the question here is, what's your name? So the answer will be, my name is Nicole. My name is Nicole. So this is, that means, when do we use some of these adjective pronouns. Now the second part of this conversation, another conversation, which is what's his name? What's his name? What's his name? So that means we said that his name is used for a person, for male person. For example, his book, for example, Kitabo. So the answer here would be, his name is Michael. His name is Michael. So, and what's space name? Her name is Jennifer. Now look at the answer here, which is, her name is Jennifer. Her name is Jennifer. Here, that means shows you what should be in the question. So the question will be, what's her name? What's her name? So the answer would be, her name is Jennifer, because now the question is her name. So the answer would be, her name is Jennifer. So this is just that means exercise for using these pronouns, adjective pronouns, and when do we use. So these pronouns, adjective pronouns, as we said, they are always followed by a noun, and they cannot be used without a noun after them, so that they are called adjective pronouns. So they should be followed by a noun, because they are considered as an adjective, because they give something concerning the noun after them. Now look, we have this point, the second point, which is about the titles. Titles here, these are some titles that are given to some people, especially in those English-speaking countries. For example, now we have these are titles, which are those in bold. We have Miss, Mrs., Ms., Mr. So these are titles given to people in English countries, and sometimes they can be used in some other countries. So now look, we have Miss Eto. Miss Eto. Miss here, this is a title which is given to unmarried female. Unmarried females. So that means single female. Miss is given to single females or unmarried females. So that means that female which is not married, unmarried. So you can say Miss, for example, Eto, Miss Aisha. So Miss here, that means it is not married woman. So you can recognize that she is not married because she has the title Miss. Mrs. Morgan, Mrs. The second one is Mrs. So now we have Miss, Mrs., Miss, Mrs. So now the pronunciation of these titles is very important. Now the first one is Miss. The second is Mrs. Mrs. Morgan. So Mrs. here is given to those married females only. So you can say, for example, Mrs. Morgan, Mrs. Morgan, Mrs. for example, Otta, Mrs. So Mrs. here is given to that means married females, and it is not given to those single females or unmarried females. So now we have Miss and Mrs. Number 3, we have Ms. Ms. Chin. So Ms. here is used for single or married females. So you can, for example, we say, for example, Miss Chin. So we don't know if she is married or not. So Miss Chin. So now this title, which is Ms., is used with single or married females. The last one is Mr. Mr. Garcia. Mr. Garcia. So Mr. here is used also with single or married only males, not females. So Ms is for females and Mr. is for only males. So Mr. here, Mr. Garcia is used for, so now Mr. is used for single or married males only. So these are titles. We should know when do we use these titles and when do we, for example, Miss, when can we use Mrs., when can we use Ms., and when can we use, for example, Mr. So be careful, be careful of these titles, and you have to know, and you have to practice also saying these titles with your friends. Okay, now look at this point. Now we have saying hello, saying hello. So when you meet someone, sometimes you have to greet him using some expressions. So there are some expressions that can be used when you meet someone. It can be sometimes the first time, or if you meet him after a long time. So you can use some expressions. So now look, we have saying hello, saying hello. So how do you say hello to someone? That means how do you greet someone you meet? So now we have, for example, number one, we have now for conversation. Now number one here, which is hi Matthew. Hi Matthew. Hi here is an expression, and a word which is used to greet someone you meet. So hi Matthew, how's it going? How's it going? So how's it going, like for example, how are you? So hi Matthew, how's it going? So now hi here is one of those expressions to say hello to someone. So so now look at the answer here. The reply here is great, thanks. Great, thanks. How about you, Lisa? How about you, Lisa? So this is, now we have to know now about those expressions and those words that can be used to say hello to someone. So now we have hi, hi. The second one in picture number 2, look, now we have good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Mr. Garcia. How are you? Good morning, Mr. Garcia. How are you? So good morning here is also another expression that can be used to say hello to someone. That means to greet someone you meet. So you can say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, hi, hello. So all these are expressions that means they are used to say hello to someone. That means to greet someone you meet. So now in the second picture here, in picture number 2, we have good morning, Mr. Garcia. How are you? Good morning, Mr. Garcia. How are you? So now look at the reply here, which is I'm just fine. I'm just fine. I'm just fine, Alex. Thank you. Thank you. So this is another expression. Now number 3 here, we have good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Linda. Good afternoon, Linda. So good afternoon also, this is another expression, but here the period of time is different from good morning. Be careful of this point, because now good afternoon can be used in a different time, not like that of good morning. So good afternoon, Linda. How are you? She said, pretty good, thanks. How are you doing? So this is another expression, good afternoon. Number 4, we have good evening. Good evening. Good evening, Mrs. Morgan. Good evening, Mrs. Morgan. So he said, hello. Hello, Ms. Chin. Hello, Ms. Chin. How are you? I'm okay, thank you. I'm okay, thank you. So all these are expressions. Now we have hi, we have hello, we have good morning, we have good evening, good afternoon, hello. So all these are expressions can be used to say hello to someone, and that means they are used to greet someone you meet, maybe the first time, or maybe if you meet him after a long time. Now look at this grammar focus, that is grammatical point that we are going to explain here, which is concerned with verbs to be. Verbs to be. You know, we have in English, we have 3 verbs, that means a present verb to be. 3 verbs to be which are in the present. We have am, is, are. Am, is, are. So these are called verbs to be, because the infinitive here is be for these verbs. So am, is, are, their infinitive is be. So now we have some uses for these verbs to be, and these verbs are very important in English because they are used in different structures in English, and they are very important, and you have to know about using these verbs in English. Now look, we have in this table, in this chart, we have 3 columns. We have 3 columns, and these columns we have the first one, which is subject pronouns. Subject pronouns, verb to be, and then we have an example for each one. So now look at these subject pronouns. So these subject pronouns are called subject pronouns because they come as a subject in a sentence. That means they come at the beginning of a sentence, so they are subjects. Okay, so for example, now we have I, he, she, it, they, we, you. So all these are subject pronouns. So the subject pronouns always used as subjects. That means they come at the beginning of a sentence, so that they are called subject pronouns, and they are usually followed by a verb in a sentence. So that means if you want to make a sentence in English, that means the form of a sentence, of any sentence in English, it should have a subject at the beginning, and then it should be followed by a verb, and then you have a complement for this sentence. Now look, we have now I am, because now am is only used with the pronoun I. We cannot say, for example, I is, no. So it should be am. I am Hassan, I am Hussein, I am a doctor, I am a teacher. So I here is always used with am. And then we have is, the second verb be, which is used with he, she, it, and it can be used with singular nouns. For example, you can, he is, she is, it is. You can say, for example, he is a doctor, she's a nurse. Okay, it's for example, it's a dog. So these three pronouns, he, she, it, or any singular noun can be used with is. For example, we can say instead of he, we can say, for example, Ahmad is, Ali is, Hassan is. So we can say, for example, we can give some other singular that means noun instead of the pronoun. For example, instead of he, we can say, for example, the doctor, the boy, and so on. Okay, she also can, for example, use a name of a woman or a girl. Instead of she, we can say, for example, Aisha, Fatima is, or any other that means name for female. And you have also it. Okay, it is. It here is just for that means other animals, or for other, for example, inanimate things. So now look, we have some. Then the third part of the pronouns, we have they, we, you, which are plural pronouns, and these pronouns are used with are. Are is used with they, we, you. They are, we are, you are. We cannot say, for example, they is, no. So they are, we are. So that means there should be agreement between the subject and the verb. There should be agreement. That means there should be agreement between that. That means if you have they, so the verb should be are. So this is agreement between the subject and the verb here. So we can say instead of they, the boys. The boys are. The boys are in the class. We are, for example, you can say we are at home. Okay, so these three pronouns, they, we, you, they are plural pronouns, and they are used with are. So now look, we have some examples for each verb to be. We have an example. For example, I am Hassan, he is Michael, she is Jennifer, it's a book, they are friends, we are friends, you are Tom. So these are examples, that means to indicate using these verbs to be. Now look at this verbs to be also now, that means using verbs to be in these sentences. You have, for example, I'm Jennifer Miller. I'm Jennifer Miller. Are you Stephen Carson? So now look, we have in this one verb to be here in the second sentence. For example, now I'm Jennifer Miller. I'm Jennifer Miller. We have are you Stephen Carson? Verbs to be when they come at the beginning, so they are used. That means to give a question. Yeah, that means yes, no question. So now is and are when they come at the beginning, so that means they give a question, which is yes, no question. That means they form yes, no question. So now look, we have the first column. We have I'm Jennifer Miller. I'm Jennifer Miller. You're in my class. You're in my class. She's in our class. He's over there. It's Miller. How are you? So now look at these sentences, and you can read them, and you can find out that means the use of these verbs to be. But now here we have contractions. Am means I am. Your means you are. She's means she is. His means he is. Its means it is. So these are verbs to be just with contractions. In the second column, we have the first one, which is a question. Now we said that verbs to be, when they come at the beginning, عندما تأتي في البداية, they means, okay, they give a question, yes, no question. For example, when I say, for example, Ahmed is a doctor. Ahmed is a doctor. You can say, is Ahmed a doctor? Is Ahmed a doctor? So this is a question. And a question, that means it involves the answer yes or no. So are you Stephen Carson? Yes, I am. No, I'm not. Jennifer is not in our class. Stephen is over there. So now also we have one point, which is using how do you make a negative of these verbs to be. Verb to be, for example, when I say I'm a doctor, I'm a teacher, so how can we make this sentence negative? How do you make it negative? Nafi. How do you make this sentence, that means all sentences with verbs to be, how do we make them negative? This can be done only by adding the word not after verb to be. So I'm a teacher, I'm not a teacher. For example, he's a doctor, he's not a doctor. She's a nurse, she's not a nurse. So we can only add not after verb to be to make sentences with verbs to be negative. So use the word not after these verbs. Now look, we have this conversation. He's over there. He's over there. Also in this conversation, we have the use of these verbs to be, and also the use of some adjective pronouns, those which are my, your, and so on. Now look at the first part of this, the first conversation, which is between Jennifer and David. Jennifer, excuse me, are you Stephen Carson? Are you Stephen Carson? Because here are here comes at the beginning of that means of the sentence, so it forms a yes no question. Now David said, no, I'm not. He's over there. He's over there. He is. He is. So now these that means words which are in bold give, that means indication that this is the use of verbs to be. Jennifer, oh I'm sorry. Oh I'm sorry. Am, which is I am. Originally I am. Jennifer, Stephen. Jennifer. Now the second part of the conversation we have between Jennifer and Stephen. Jennifer, Stephen, this is your book? This is your book. Stephen, oh thank you. You are in my class, right? You are in my class, right? So my class, this is the use of this adjective pronoun, my class. So Jennifer said, yes I am. I'm Jennifer Miller. Yes I am. Yes, I am. So this conversation in general, okay, includes the use of verbs to be, and also includes the use of adjective pronouns, which is my and your, and maybe we can find some other adjective pronouns in some other conversation. Now look, we have at this point we have pronunciation. Pronunciation, linked sounds. Linked sounds. So one of the most important points in English, that is English people usually use linked sounds when they speak, so that we can sometimes we can see that they speak fast. So now look at these sentences, three sentences. We have am Antonio, am Antonio. Now look at this sentence. We have ma and a of Antonio. These are underlined sounds, underlined sounds. So now we have am, which is which ends in consonant, which is ma, and then the second word, which is Antonio, which has a as a vowel. So if we have consonant and then followed by a vowel, so there will be a link between these two sounds. There will be a link between these two sounds. For example, now Antonio, Antonio. It will be Antonio, Antonio. Link sounds. So they link these sounds together because we have one consonant and the second one is a vowel. Okay. Now look the second one, which is she's over there. She's over there. Now we have z and o. Z is consonant and o is, which is vowel. So now, and when we say, for example, she's over there, we can say she's over there, she's over there, she's over, she's over. So now there is link between these two sounds, which is the consonant z and also the vowel o. So the second one we have, the third one, the last, which is you're in my class, you're in my class, you're in my class. Now we have ra here, your, of you are, your, and then in, which is a vowel. So ra and e, these are two sounds, consonant and vowel. So there will be you're in my class, you're in my class. Yes, now look, we have some numbers and telephone numbers, and how do we write those telephone numbers? Telephone numbers, you know, so for example, when I ask someone to give me his telephone number, so okay, what's your phone number? What's your telephone number? So give him the number. Usually, for example, that means we have to give him those numbers from the left side. For example, now 2 1 2 5 5 5 6 1 1 5. So the numbers are given as they are, but you have to say oh if you have, for example, for 0, you can say oh, like for example, number 3, you have 6 0 4 5 5 5 4 7 3 1. So only this is an exercise. So you have to write these numbers. That means these telephone numbers in numbers in these spaces that you have in this. Okay, so now we have grammar focus. Complete the conversation. Complete this conversation. Okay, in this conversation also we have the use of verbs to be also. That means it's as if it's an exercise for those verbs to be. And when do we use those verbs to be? And we explained this point before, and we said that verbs to be is are. Is for I, is for he, she, it. That means singular noun is, and are is for they, we, and you. That means plural noun is. Now look at this, read this conversation, and that means choose the best alternative from these practice. Number 1, David said, hello, Jennifer. Okay, you say how you. So you have is and are. So it will be how are you, because now we have you. So it should be are, and you know that are is used with you. Jennifer said, okay, space, fine. Okay, space, fine, thanks. So is it I'm fine or she's fine? So it will be, because how are you? So the answer will be I'm fine, thanks. So you can, okay, look at these, okay, this that means these sentences, and try to find out and the use of these verbs to be, and when do we use each one of these verbs to be. And also you have to practice saying them using their contractions also, and the full form, and also their okay that means a short form. Now also this is that means exercise. Complete this conversation with the correct verb be. Also you have, this is only conversation, and just dear students, I want you to complete these sentences using verbs. That means what's the best verb to be that should be used in each space. For example, the first one, I'll give you the first one, which is Nicole, for example. It is a conversation between Nicole and Jennifer, and then you have David also and Stephen in this, okay. Nicole, Jennifer, David, and also then the second one, which is between Stephen, David, Jennifer. The first one we have Nicole said, excuse me, you Stephen Carson? So use verb to be here. Is it is you, are you, or am you? So because here we have you, it should be are. Are you Stephen Carson? So now you have to look at the other sentences, and you have to fill in these spaces using the correct verb to be in these spaces. The second point now, which is the last point concerning saying goodbye, that means we have already now explained and given you those expressions that okay for saying hello, and now we have expression for saying goodbye. That if you want to leave someone, okay, you can say some. You can use some expressions. For example, now look, you have number 1. We have see you later. That means you are going now to leave someone. Okay, see you later. See you later. That means you are okay going to leave him now. So you can say see you later, Matthew. Bye bye, Lisa. So all these are expressions to say goodbye to someone. Okay, see you later. Bye bye. For example, you can say see you tomorrow. For example, number 2 here, how in the picture, number 2, we have see you tomorrow, Alex. Okay, bye, Mr. Garcia. So also we have, for example, goodbye, have a great weekend, thank you, okay, you too, goodbye, Miss Chin. So all these good night, all these expressions can be used to say goodbye to someone. That means if you want to leave someone, okay, so you can use these expressions. Okay, see you later, see you tomorrow, bye, goodbye, bye bye, good night. This is given, okay, that means use it especially at night. When you want to leave someone at night, you can say good night. So all these are expressions to express, to say goodbye to someone. So this is, now we come to the end of this lecture, and I hope that you understand what I said, and I hope that everything is okay and okay given to you in a clear way. And thank you very much for listening. And okay, wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.